Have you ever done something where you start this and then you do this and then you do that, but nothing is ever fucking done? So what's the difference between these people who are super focused on accomplishing things and the people who are not? The people who are super focused are only doing that. I struggle with it too. In the beginning of the year, I said, hey, Sumo's going well, AppSumo's going well, let me just focus on the podcast. And so I started doing it. I wanted to get 100,000 downloads by the end of the year. And after 3 months, I was at like 10,000 downloads an episode. I was like, wow, this is gonna be harder than I thought. Let me go do something else. So then I started doing more YouTube. And then I built a recruiting software. And then I built a WordPress plugin. Does that sound familiar? Where you just start adding on new distractions instead of the main thing that you committed to doing. Yo, if you wanna see and learn more about goal settings, subscribe below. It's probably in the bottom right and you'll get more videos like this. I started reflecting on a lot of my career. I'm 35, I've been doing this for 15 years. I'm like a dinosaur. I was like, well, what's worked out really well? With Facebook, we were very focused just on growth. With my conferences, I was focused on breaking even. AppSumo, we were focused on getting a certain amount of email signups. With Sumo.com, we wanted a certain amount of customers. When we had a singular goal, we were able to accomplish it. When you start having multiple goals or you start having multiple priorities, you can't be focused. What I realized is that I was starting to do so many things and distracting myself because my main thing wasn't working. Probably sounds familiar. And so I was on a bike ride in Israel, that's how we bike ride. And I realized I'm doing too much and all of it's going good, but none of it's going great. And I didn't want to give up all this other stuff. So I said, Noah, in your personal time with the hobby, with the podcast, that was your goal in the beginning of the year. Let's just only do that for 3 months and nothing else. At the end of that, then evaluate if you're that much further than it. Once I made that decision and I told David and Brandon and the guys on the team, like, hey, this is all I'm doing. Everything else I don't care about. All the decisions have got easier. All of the accomplishments and like the growth started happening more. Because it's like, does it help the podcast grow? We do it. Does it not help the podcast grow? We don't do it. I think one of the key things with that is that you have to really be diligent only having one goal. And here's how you know you're doing wrong. A lot of people are like, I'm like, hey, what's your priority? They're like, well, I got 3. Priority is a singular word. So just stay strict with just having one singular goal and commit to it for 3 months and don't start being like, well, I have 2 goals. No, and they're both important. Have one major goal and you can have goals that roll up to it. So let's say your goal is revenue. Of course, you're gonna have to say, well, that's a function of customers, that's a function of this and this, but really focus on the revenue. And if the decisions aren't about helping you get revenue, then just ignore it. When we have the crystal clear goal, that's part 1. What's really important is part 2. Why the fuck are you doing it? Do you actually care about it? And that's what something you gotta commit to before you start. Because it's very easy when things aren't gonna go well, which is, I promise you is gonna happen, for you to give up. So you've gotta have a reason. So AppSumo, I wanted good deals. With Sumo.com, I wanna give people the tools that we were using. With the podcast, I wanted to be able to meet amazing people. And so you have to have a reason. Number 3, you have to realize it's not gonna happen overnight. I really wish it did. And if it does, let me know how you're doing because I wanna copy it, but it's never happened that way in the 15 years I've been running companies. So you have to understand that things are gonna take time. Number 4, if you're scared of giving things up, commit to it for a short period of time. Only one thing. You have to make that sacrifice because if you're focused, you're saying the word no a lot. Someone emailed me a week ago and they said, hey, you wanna do YouTube with me? I wanna do this thing. And I was like, I'm only focused on the podcast in my personal time. And with Sumo.com, I'm focused on the marketing. That's where I spend 4 days a week. I'm only focused on hitting a certain marketing target. And anything else, not including that, I ignore completely. Let's just do a concrete example. Let's say for a business. You're like, well, I don't know if we should focus on retention or we should focus on revenue or we should focus on like new customers. You're fine. It's fine not to know it. Pick one to commit to for 1 month or a quarter and just try it for a quarter and then see which makes the biggest impact. It's like testing things. Like you go and do a test drive. And then from that, you can go and make a decision which one's actually like leading it. Here's an example with AppSumo. When we started, our only goal was to get a certain amount of email subscribers. We were laser focused. First year was 50,000. Next year was 500,000. The third year, we're like, let's maybe do even more emails. But what happened is we got more emails, the revenue didn't go up with it. Like first year, revenue kept going, more emails, everything kept happening. But eventually that changed. So you have to test things out, try it out for some period of time, and then you have to be open to reevaluating it. I was talking to my friend Charlie recently, and I said, hey, what's your goal for the year with your business? And he said, I want my team to feel better. And I was like, Charlie, that's the worst fucking answer I've ever heard. He's like, well, why? I was like, at the end of the year, when that's finally over, how do you know that you are actually made the team better? What you need to do is have a concrete goal that is measurable. Look, other people out there, maybe their goals are, it's good, I want to have light and magic at the end of the year. Fine. Pick a concrete goal that you genuinely think would be a challenge for you within about a 12-month period. And that is something that you can actually then have a laser focus on. Pick a clear goal, have a reason for doing it, say no a bunch of times, commit for a short period if you're nervous, and you'll see the results for yourself.